Thank you, Concola. I'm going to start off this today to know this was a Law Reform Commission bill that was never enacted. And just to read out 3.6 of the Law Reform Bill done by the Commission in 2005. The report deals with the liability of corporations for the death of human persons arising from gross negligence. The report recommends that an offence of corporate manslaughter should be introduced to be prosecuted on indictment only where gross negligence involving significant risk of death or serious personal harm causes death. In assessing whether reasonable measures have been taken, the offence would apply to undertakings which would include public sector and private sector corporate entities. The report also recommends that this would be a separate offence for gross negligence management and causing death. The reason I brought up that, Ceann Comhairle, and thank you for indulgence, is if this was enacted, everyone across there would be in jail now. There would be none of them in the benches because of the gross negligence of minding the people of this country at a time of need and stop driving inflation through the roof, which is putting stress on people in this country. Families, young families, fighting to try and survive, families trying to get on the housing ladder, and all you can come up with on a housing policy is put funding into the LDAs, which only work 15 minutes from the cities, which wipes out an awful lot of the towns and villages. And where I live in Limerick, it takes out 2/3 of the towns and villages for infrastructure. If there was infrastructure in County Limerick, there would be houses built in all the towns and villages, which would then encourage businesses to stay open. Our school numbers would be up, our sports numbers would be up. Across the board, it would be self-contained because they would support each other. And when you see now towns and villages coming together, even to have a sports game, 3 or 4 parishes now are joining together to have a team. Why? Because this government, and they're failing to invest in the towns and villages in rural Ireland outside of the cities. And if they were supported in the counties, in turn they would support the cities, because then you could make a plan for infrastructure, for a transport network to bring people in and out, where they would support both. But you've just got this thing of putting investment in one spot, like in Dublin, in the airports. And now you saw that it was wrong. And now Shannon Airport and Cork Airport are now growing because dispersion of traffic. Do the same with people. Allow our children come home. There's people that want to come home to Dublin, can't come home because it's overpopulated. People can't come up here and work because they've no place to stay. So you're reducing their opportunities. You look then at hospitality. And in your mini budget, you returned the VAT from 9% back up to 13.5%, which adds €1 to every plate of food in a restaurant or hotel. That's what you've done for hospitality. Doesn't make any sense. So on one hand, you're giving an increase in the minimum wage, which I welcome, but on the other hand, you've taken it back again on taxes. You then turn around to the fuel tax. We look at haulage industry, we look at the farming industry that produce our food, and the taxes that they have to pay on fuel to produce our food at the moment. The government are taking in tax. 50 cents in every euro they take back in tax. What did they give back to the farmers today? Next to nothing. Macro were up here recently fighting their case. The Taoiseach, or the Taoiseach at the time said, yes, give me your model and I'll look at it. They had a model done that was costing 8 million. Did they even get a look in today? No. They were led up the garden path again. What did you give to the farmers? You gave some grants for the machinery. The contractors in this country do about 70% of the work for the farmers, but you gave nothing to the contractors for the machinery, which could reduce cost for farmers getting work done. You looked in at the Gardaí. We're going to have 1,000 Gardaí extra. They can't keep the ones that they have. They're counting the days and hours to get out, because 98.7% of them had no confidence in Joe Harris, who was appointed by government. And again, you left no voice for the Gardaí. And now you want to encourage Gardaí to come into the service. Why would they? When their own government or the head of the Garda would not listen to them. Why would somebody go down that line? Our protectors, our nurses, our protectors, our medical staff, our protectors, our Gardaí, our protectors. What do? You put in your earplugs and pretend that they're not there. If you look at it, and I'll go back to the law reform bill again, Minister Eamon Ryan refused to take advice from the TII on resurfacing and restructuring roads. Deaths, they said that deaths would happen on the roads, and he ignored it for road infrastructure. That's negligence on his behalf. That's gross negligence on his behalf. People have died on the roads because fundings have not been put into infrastructure. People have died on the roads because the local authorities don't have money to fill potholes on the basic roads. People have died on the roads because of rules that you can't cut hedges at certain times of the year. Every road in Ireland, and I said road only, should have 1 metre in and straight up of hedge cutting. It protects pedestrians, it protects cyclists, it protects the buses going to school, it protects tractors, transport, trucks, it protects everyone. That's what you do when you look at things from a common sense point of view and you try and save lives. What you've done today is absolutely a joke. And I say it again, if that law reform bill was introduced, there would be a lot of you over on that side, not on the benches, you would be somewhere else. Thank you.